I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. So, oops, ich hab's kaputt gemacht. Tut mir leid. Aber wir können es ja so lassen erstmal.
Bisschen weit weg. Aber okay, lassen wir es erstmal so.
Tut mir leid. So, this beautiful verse describes how important it is actually the mercy of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. And why? One of the reasons is that they have been scrutinizingly studying themselves all the revealed scriptures, and they have gathered all the nectar which is important for attaining devotional service and love of Krishna and Radharani. No? So, by the mercy of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, we have some knowledge. It's unlimited knowledge, so we can never have all the knowledge, but some drops of knowledge which they could convey to us by their own personal darshan, by their own personal revelations. No? They existed simultaneously in this world and simultaneously in Gaura, in Chaitanya Lila and Krishna Lila. So, and they wrote all these beautiful nectars. So now we will sing this song. This is the verse 2 of the Radha Kripa Kataksha. Please sing after me. Ashoka Viksha Vallavi Vitana Mandapasti Pravala Vala Palava Prabhanurangi Komala Ashoka Viksha Vallavi Vitana Mandapasti Pravala Vala Palava Prabhanurangi Komala Varaptaya Spirat Kare Prabhuta Sampadalaye Kada Harishasi Himantipakataksha Bhajana Varaptaya Spirat Kare Prabhuta Sampadalaye Kada Harishasi Himantipakataksha Bhajana Ashoka Viksha Vallari. Ashok. Who knows what is Ashok? Ashoka Viksha? Yes, but Ashok is a tree. Ashoka Viksha. Viksha is tree. Kalpa Viksha. Vaishnavas are Kalpa Vikshas. Ashoka Viksha. Ashok is also a tree. So, this verse says, O goddess, staying in a vine cottage by an Ashoka tree, O goddess whose delicate feet are as splendid as red blossoms, O goddess whose hand grants fearlessness, O abode of transcendental opulences, when will you cast your merciful sidelong glance upon me? So again, the mood of this verse is again, the emphasis is, when will that happen? This is the most important emphasis on this. And of course, this type of tree, Ashok tree, is very often found in Vrindavan. Shoka means sorrow, as you mentioned, or suffering. And Ashoka means to be free from suffering. So this verse describes a kunja in which Srimati Radhika is situated. Kunja, as we said, is a bower. There's a gathering of trees, especially in Vrindavan. There is a kunja where Radha, Krishna and gopis, they meet. And within those kunjas, there are small nikunjas, which is very intimate, and Radha, Krishna meet privately there. So this verse is describing one of these Ashoka tree kunjas, some Ashoka trees together, and these there are 4 trees, in 4 directions, and the trees have grown in such a way that their branches are intertwined. They form a kind of cave, a kind of safe haven for the gopis to meet, and and all these 4 sides, they are protected. And this is an Ashoka Kunj. A Kunj formed by 4 Ashoka trees, which indicate that this place, this Kunja, is a place of bliss. It's not a place of sorrow. You don't meet in these places and cry. You meet in these places and you're blissful. You're very happy and joyous. So there is no lamentation here. It is free from suffering. So it is a place where Radha and Krishna can meet, and all the sufferings arise which come from other things when they are separated and they cannot touch each other. It's not here. Here is a place of bliss. It is a place of meeting and happiness. It is a very auspicious for the meeting between Radha and Krishna, that these Ashoka trees have grown here, 4 in number. This is a sign that you can meet each other. Not only, there are these 4 trees, but they're also entwined, beautiful climbing plants, vallaris, Ashoka Viksha Vallari, climbing plants with incredible beautiful flowers, And these kunjas, they are bordered, and they're a canopy of kunjas, thus made the spreading branches of Ashok trees and Vallari vines that climb up the trees. These Ashokas are completely covered with flowers. It's not just the trees, the whole vine, they are all full of flowers, these decorative flowers. It is said wherever Radha and Krishna want to meet, Vinda Devi arranges all the decorations, and she and her assistant birds, there are yellow parrots who go all around and collect beautiful flowers. They go everywhere and see where is the beautiful flower. They look for special flowers, and then they come and they decorate these kunjas very beautifully. So whenever they see it, they take it as a very auspicious sign and say, oh yes, my Swamini Shri Radha, she will certainly meet with Krishna soon. And I saw a golden vine climbing up a tree today. She will certainly meet with Krishna. So if the vines, if these Kletterpflanzen, this creepers, when the creepers, they grow because they know Radha and Krishna are going to come, so they quickly grow and give flowers to make it more beautiful. Because Vrindavan, every living entity in Vrindavan is living for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. Every one of them is ready to do whatever they can do, to give flowers and to make it beautiful for their meeting. So the nature of Radhika Dasis is that they ceaselessly strive for the happiness of Srimati Radhika. With their eyes fall, they look for a sign that indicate a good omen. A good omen for Radharani, especially for Radharani. Everything should be in her favor. So one of the services of the Manjaris is also to plant creepers at the base of the trees and intentionally nurture them, and so that they grow nicely around these trees, and that there are auspicious signs everywhere And consequently, the meeting of Radha and Krishna must take place with certainty. Yeah? There should be no doubt that they are going to meet. Yeah? Because there's always some impediments why they should not meet. Radharani is married, Krishna is with his friends, the friends of Krishna want to have him also, so there's no time. But there should be no impediments, so the Manjaris make sure that this will happen. So they make sure that everything is going for that direction, that Srimati Radharani is pleased. So this is one of the garden sevas of the Manjaris. They ensure that everything becomes udipan, stimulation and impulses. Every flower, every creeper which is planted, there is a knowledge behind it. Why? Because Radharani likes this flower, or because Radha Krishna love to be near the aroma of this flower, like that. Vitana mandapastite. Mandapa means like a tent. So within the kunja, not that there is, there would be a separate tent there, but the kunja itself, the borders of the kunja and the enchanting way the creepers hang down from them, from a tent, is a lata mandira. Lata means creeper, and they make a temple out of these creepers, and they form a beautiful mandir, temple. This temple itself is the meeting place of Radha and Krishna. Another point here is that the trees have grown together from the outside, and climbing plants are very cleverly intertwined. So you can't necessarily see the inside. It's a beautiful, lovely place. It's very private and secret, like a cave. It's like a cave made out of the trees. In this secret, beautiful, intimate, and all natural place, everything is made of natural beauty, and Radhika is mandapastite. She's there. Pravala vala pallava. This is now a description of Radharani's nature. First, it describes where you in this kunja, and then where she in this kunja, and then after the description of the kunja itself, it describes how Srimati Radhika is situated in her kunja. Radhika's lotus feet are described here. Pravala vala pallava. Pravala means very young coral and coral sapling. When the coral is still very new and fresh and very beautiful one, has a delicate reddish color. Vala means new. So a newly sprouted coral has the color of Radhika's feet, pink, bright. But the coral is also somewhat hard. So there is another word, pallava. These three words together describe Radhika's feet. Pravala means the color, that is like a coral. Vala means that it is very new and fresh. And pallava means like a shoot, like a fresh bud of a plant. That means very soft, because the first part of a plant which come out, they are very soft. So Radhika's feet are not like coral, because coral is hard. Only their color is like that of the corals. But the touch of her feet is very, very soft, like a new sprout, delicate, like the first buds of a small plant. Very delicate and soft, and also beautifully reddish. Her feet are like the color of fresh sprouting rosebuds when they are just beginning to open, and the color is changing, so very tender, very new, fresh, just blossoming, just opening. And from these soft, reddish, and beautiful lotus feet, Srimati Radhika emanates a gentle glow. Prabhanurangiko male. Prabha means radiance, but the word aruna is also used in case we imagine a kind of bright glow. This word is used to describe the rising of the sun. So Radhika's feet are not as dazzling bright as the sun at midday, which is blazing hot, and you can't look into it without hurting your eyes. Her feet are not like that. No, They are like the sun at dawn, both in color and in the kind of soft glow that emerges, like when the sun rises. It's very beautiful. You can even you can even gaze at the rising sun or setting sun. Beautiful. So Radhika's lotus feet are shining, but they are not like the sun during the day. They are like the sun at the dawn. No? So Radhika's feet, the Manjaris can look at them completely unencumbered and are not dazzled by a glaring light. They are also komala, very soft, very, very soft, very beautiful color of coral with the softness of freshly sprouted buds and the gentle, soft glow of the sun at sunrise. All these are udipan for us to meditate upon on the soft lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. And so this lovely Srimati Radhika sits in her kunja with her gently glowing, soft reddish lotus feet, reminiscent of young flower buds under this beautiful natural canopy of latas and blossoming ashoka tree. So, what did we learn about the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani? 3 aspects. Who can tell me the first one? Reddish like a coral. So it's very delicate, yes, like a bud, like a fresh shoot. Always new, always fresh. So these 3 qualities we can remember. So now it describes that Radhika is sitting in this Ashoka Kunj. So how is she sitting? Varabdaya Spurat Kare. It is not described here that Radhika is in the company of Krishna at this time, but she is sitting in the kunja and giving a benediction. So in this way, it is implied that at this time she is with her manjaris, her dasis, and is giving a benediction. What is this blessing? Varabdaya, that she should be without fear. Radharani is giving the blessing to her manjaris. Don't be afraid. But could you ask why a manjari should be in fear? Why does Radhika bless them to be fearless? What is their need? It's a beautiful place. They are sitting together, a few girls, nicely. Why should Radharani give the blessing of being fearless? Anybody knows? Yeah, you're right. There was a manjari. This is a very beautiful pastime. I think most of you didn't hear it. So pay attention. Why should a manjari be afraid? And it's very sweet. There was a manjari, very beautiful dasi of Radhika. And she was a very new and young dasi whom Krishna never seen before. She was just fresh in the service of Radhika, fresh in Vrindavan. That means there's always new dasis coming. There's always new people. There's place for us too, We can all go there. So don't worry. So she was sitting alone somewhere in the forest of Vrindavan, putting up a garland of flowers. Shri Rupa had given her the order to tie a garland, and she was to place this garland in the hand of Srimati ji. And Radhika was to give this garland to Krishna. So this little manjari thought, this is a beautiful seva. I am now here in Vrindavan, tying this garland, and it will come into Radhika's hand. Can you imagine what a beautiful scene it is? You receive the nice seva from Rupa Manjari, and you can make a nice garland, which goes in the hands of Srimati Radharani. Oh, that would be so the perfection of life. Yeah? Gently and full of deepest love for Radhika, she thread this garland. At that time, Krishna happened to come there and thought, I have noticed a new dasi that I have never seen before. I'm so fascinated by this dasi. What is she doing? Oh, she's making a garland. Krishna stood behind the bushes, and this new dasi did not see him. But he watched her. He observed how her beautiful hands picked out the flowers, how she carefully selected the most beautiful blossom from the small heap of flowers. She was taking care. She was looking. Devotee is the detail. She was looking. Which one of these flowers are more beautiful? She was putting a lot of heart, and it was seen by Krishna. Krishna sees when you do anything. Krishna will never forget. So he observed her beautiful hands picking up the nice flowers from the heap. Then she pulled the flower into the thread down, and her eyes watched her. And following the flower, she was looking at the flower. So engrossed was she in making her magnificent garland for Radhika. Krishna became fascinated, and he wanted to talk to her. So he stepped out of the bush and said, "Oh beauty, oh Sundari, oh lovely girl, you're making this garland for me, right?" She was shocked, raised her eyes, and saw Krishna for the first time. Imagine, she's a new Dasi. She has never been in Vrindavan. She has never seen Krishna. She has seen Krishna for the first time. Krishna is most attractive. He's all attractive. He's most beautiful. Don't bother about giving this garland to anyone, Krishna told her. Don't worry about giving them to your Swamini first. I am here now. Why don't you give it to me directly? Here I am. Come on, give it to me directly. You can give it to me. What would you do? Krishna is standing in front of you. He is accepting your service and saying, give the garland to me. It's a very difficult situation. This Manjari was new, and she was a little apprehensive, but she had the certainty of being Radhika's Dasi. So this she had. Otherwise, she would never get that service from Rupa Manjari. Therefore, she felt no inclination to give Krishna a garland. However, as Radhika's Dasi, she had to be very skillful. And she could not offend Krishna because she knew Radharani loves Krishna. She is in the camp of Rupa. And so she said to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, I'm seeing you for the first time. I have never seen you and never spoken to you. It is very difficult for me to know how to put this garland. I don't have any skills. I am not so expert how to make a nice garland. I would love to do it, but maybe if you would close your eyes, I would not be so coy." So she was humble. She said, "Please close your eyes." Krishna was so happy. "Yes, no problem." So he closed his eyes. And immediately this faithful Dasi jumped up and ran straight to Radhika's Kunja. There were tears in her eyes, but she also laughed. Because she tricked Krishna. She entered the Kunja and threw herself right into Radhika's lap and cried and cried. Then Radhika asked, "Oh, what is it, my little one? Why are you crying?" She narrated the whole story, and Radhika spoke as if to rebuke her and said, "Oh, why didn't you give it to him? When he asked you, you could have given it to him. This is no problem, no harm. You should have given it to him. You should always give pleasure to my Krishna." The Manjari looked up at Radhika and said, "Oh Swamini, no, I had no desire. Nothing moved in my heart to give Krishna this garland. Happiness comes into my heart only when I can make this garland and when I am putting it around Krishna's neck, when you are putting it around Krishna's neck. In other words, I can only be happy if you do this, So this is the happiness I desire. I do not desire any other kind of happiness through Krishna." Then Radhika lifted her veil, placed it over the Manjari's head, as well as embraced her. So this is the mood of a Manjari, and not how Radhika, and also how Radhika protects her Manjaris from Krishna, who is always eager to come in, and contact with them. They do not want it, but Krishna is always eager, and Radhika protects them, and sometimes Krishna chastises her. Oh, do not lie down with my dasis. That they belong to me. Yeah? So Radhika always protects them and says, "This they belong to me." So this is Varaptaya Spurat Kare. Varapta means that she gives her dasis fearlessness. Sometimes she sends them to deliver a message to Krishna, or she has a garland, for example, and she sends her manjari to offer that garland to Krishna. First of all, bless this manjari. He will not touch you. He knows that he must not touch my dasis. If he wants to please me, and she stretches out her hands and places them over them. Spurat therefore means to exhibit or to show. So she shows her hands. Here, kare means hands. It is plural, so two hands. Radharani does not sit with one hand raised like a goddess. Goddesses, they stand like this, but shows two hands. Of course, in the deity form, she sometimes shows her abhaya mudra, like in this form, and also avard bhakti with one hand. But in the protection of her dasis, she does with two hands. Perhaps you have seen this picture, very famous picture of Radharani standing like this, who appeared to Narada Muni in Kusum Sarovar, very famous picture of Radharani standing and giving blessings with two hands. It can also mean that she holds out the top of her robe and wraps or embraces this manjari in it. Before sending the manjari to Krishna, she blesses her and touches her dasi. She says, "Give him this garland and come back to me immediately." In this way, she shows her manjari this sweet mood as her very loving and full Saki, like a friend. Yeah. One of the name of Radhika is Saki Vatsalya. She has also a nurturing, supportive, and protective mood for her dasis and friends. So the raising of hands is a symptom of this Saki Vatsalya, a very deep affection. This is also an indication of consolation of her devotees. She offers her love and affection not only to her manjaris, but also to us, to everyone. We describe this attitude of Radhika. We describe how she stands like this. So this is the attitude, this vatsalya, this love, affection, and nourishment is also meant for her beloved devotees here in this material world. Prabhuta sampadalaye. This means that you, the abode of all wealth and abundance, one of Radhika's names is Nikhila Bhuvana Lakshmi, which means that she is the origin and source of all Lakshmis. Yeah, we were saying yesterday, she is the origin of all Lakshmis. No? This is the name, Nikhila Bhuvana Lakshmi. She is the goddess of all kinds of beauty and radiance. So all beauty, richness, opulence, and loveliness, everything comes from this original Shri, which is Radhaji. It can also be an indication of what Radhika's wealth actually is. You know, we always say Shri Krishna. Why? Shri is Radharani. Yeah. We say Shri Harinam Sankirtan. Why? Because Radharani is the Shri. Yeah? Shri is Lakshmi, is Radharani. No? So, because Sampadalaya means the place of wealth, Radhika's wealth is that she is a Prema Bhakti Swarupini. Her wealth is her intense and constantly growing love for Krishna, and above all, to be the source of all this love. It is therefore the origin of all love, bhakti, especially of all love for Krishna. In this way, all love and every inclination to love comes from Srimati Radhika. It is the original Ladini Shakti. Any indication, inclination in the soul to love, the ability to love, and the small amount of ananda that is in the jiva also comes from Srimati Radhika. When this inclination is directed towards Krishna, it means that as a tiny jiva, we can also love Krishna through Srimati Radhika's power. That is her wealth. And it is distributed in minute qualities, small qualities, to all jivas. This is the kind of wealth in this verse. And all love is meant for Krishna because it comes from her Vladini Shakti, Srimati Radhika. Srimati Radhika, who is in this attitude of love and protection of her bhaktas and manjaris, also protects them from Krishna. She does both, engages them and protects them, all for the happiness of Krishna. It is Srimati Radhika whose lotus feet are so soft, which means that her lotus feet are so approachable, not hard or too glaringly bright. Because of these qualities, we too can touch Radhika's lotus feet. This implies that she is very merciful. Krishna calls with his flute, and thus the gopis run through the forest in real haste, restlessness, and impatience. Their feet are running on this ground, hitting the dusty ground of Vrindavan. And as they are on the ground, so many bhavas are coming out of their feet. And with every step, actually their own bhava. What is this bhava? It means that they long to be with Krishna. Therefore they run. And with every step, bhava emanates from their feet. Their eagerness and longing to be with Krishna. This zeal, this bhava of the gopis contains so much love and immense affection for Krishna, as well as intense aspiration. All of this is shaped by touching the gopis, the dust of Vrindavan. That is one of the reasons why the dust of Vrindavan is so holy, because it carries the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. So when we take this dust, this longing can also enter into us. Therefore devotees always touch the dust of Vrindavan on their head to receive the mercy of the gopis. The dust of Vrindavan has the power to give us desire and love, especially for sadhakas. It is imperative to cultivate genuine desire, to follow the path of Raganuga Bhakti. Desire to be like the gopis, to give up everything and run to Krishna. The same stimulation that emanates from their lotus feet can also enter into our hearts through the power of the dust of Vrindavan. Radhika's feet are soft and delicate, so indescribably delicate that these bhavas, her moods and mercy, easily emanate from them. They are not hard and distant, but very soft and gentle. One can easily approach the feet of Radhika. Wow, easily. As sadhakas, we need to hear this again and again and believe in it in the depth of our hearts. So we sing this to Radhika, who is so sweet, approachable and gentle, who gives so much affection, nourishment and support to the gopis and the manjaris, and who is in this beautiful natural kunja of Vrindavan, where she will soon meet Krishna. She must meet Krishna soon, because there are Ashoka trees and there are creepers climbing up them. So all the signs are there that Krishna will meet you soon. So feel lucky too. Will this very happy, soft and gentle, kind and caring Srimati Radhika look at me out of the corner of her eye as a sign for a seva, or just for you to look at your manjari? Kripa ataksha, kataksha, the merciful sidelong glance of Srimati Radhika. When will I receive this mercy? So we have a short meditation. Please close your eyes. Imagine yourself, you linger in a pavilion of lovely tendrilled, winding up Ashoka trees. Your delicate lotus feet are the color of the young, bright red coral. They are as wonderfully soft as tender seedlings and as warmly radiant as the rising sun. Her lotus hands are always ready to fulfill the longing wishes of her devotees and grant the blessing of fearlessness. She is the repository of all divine treasures and boundaries. O Srimati Radhika, when, oh when, will you bestow your sound-line glance on me? So this was verse number 2. We can soon move on to the next verse. So, please repeat after me. Ananga Mangala Prasanga Bangura Savi Brahman Sasangam Viganta Bana Pratima Ananga Prasanga Bangura Savi Brahman Sasangam Viganta Bana Pratima Nirantaram Vasikita Patiti Nandanam Kada Karishasi Hamam Pipakataksha Bhajana Nirantaram Vasikita Patiti Nandanam Kada Karishasi Hamam Pipakataksha Bhajana. O Goddess, who playfully shooting the arrows of your glances from the curved bows of your auspicious amorous eyebrows, have completely subdued Nanda's son, Krishna, when you will cast your merciful sidelong glance upon me. So, verse 3. In the immensely auspicious spectacle performed with passionate love-filled playfulness, Prem Vilas, like a wrestling match of love, your eyebrows, curved like bows, suddenly unleash the arrows of her side glances, piercing Nandana with amorous enchantments and bringing him into reverential devotion. In this way, he comes eternally under her perfect control. O Srimati Radhika, when, oh when, will you bestow your merciful sideline glances on me? So in the previous verse, it was described how Radhika dwells in an Ashoka grove, and it was also told about all the signs that indicate that her meeting with Krishna will take place soon. Why? Because the Ashoka trees were there, the creepers were there, the flowers were there, the manjari. Because they were there, so soon there will be a meeting. Yeah? So free from any sorrow or feelings of separation. We have also come to know how Radha is sending her manjaris to Krishna and keeps them under her protection. So in this third verse, Radhika actually meets with Krishna personally. In the previous verse, Radhika is an Ashoka Viksha Mandapa. Now in the third, she is an Ananga Ranga. Ananga means God of love. And Ranga has two meanings. Means battle arena. And there is also a word that sounds like Ranga, which means stage or a place where a drama is performed. So Ranga, therefore, here has two meanings. It is a battle arena or a stage where the drama of the God of love is performed. In other words, it is a battle arena where the love battles are fought. So Radhika is in this place, in this Anangaranga. The God of love is called Ananga, which literally means without limbs. Anga means limb, Ananga means without limbs, no bodily limbs. So when Shiva, Lord Shiva, he was immersed in meditation, and the God of love, Kamadev, came and tried to seduce him. No? He shot some arrows of love so that his meditation can break. So Shiva became very angry. He opened his eyes and he burned Kamadev with his with the fire of his eyes. So all his angas, all his body was burned. Yeah, Kamadev was burned to ashes. This is a lila you can read in Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, he is ananga, no limbs on his body. So this is a pastime which happened. So this event has its attractive forces and gave this name, Ananga. So there's also a transcendental Ananga. His name is Madan Mohan. Yeah? That is Krishna himself. Krishna is also known as Ananga because he doesn't have any material organs, material limbs. Yeah? It is a very confidential name for him. And why? Because love cannot actually put into form. There is no body, no image of love. When we speak of love, there is nothing you can touch. You can feel it, but you don't, it's not there. Therefore, sometimes you can say there is nothing. But yes, there is, because the feeling is there. So, because love cannot actually put into form. And no image of love. There's simply no form. But here in Vraj, we see him in his wonderful form as Ananga Deva. Ananga is the name of Krishna, on which we also meditate in our Kama Gayatri. When we chant Kama Gayatri, you meditate on Ananga Dev. It means love in the form of Kamadev, or more precisely in the form of Madan Mohan, who is overwhelmed by Radhika. Ananga Ranga means in the battle arena, or where Kamadev himself appears, or Krishna appears, with Srimati Radhika. So what happens during the Anangaranga? Everything that happens there is Mangala Prasanga. Mangala means very auspicious, and Prasanga means most confidential Sangha or meeting. It's a very confidential, intimate meeting. When Radha and Krishna meet, the Manjaris be of the opinion that is always Mangala. When Radha and Krishna meet, it's always Mangala. When they cannot meet, it's tough. Life is tough. But when they can meet, everything is Mangala. Then why is Mangala chanted again here? If you make this invocation from the mood of a Manjari, then Mangala means that Radhika will be victorious. Not only it's auspicious, Radhika will defeat Krishna. She will be victorious. That is good. And from the beginning, even though the two not yet met in the battle arena, but the Manjaris are always saying Mangala Prasanga, which means my Swamini will be supremely victorious in this battle arena. So now comes a very beautiful, I think everybody will like it. She will, the most brilliant performer in the most auspicious drama of Kamadev. Prasanga means the intimate encounter between Radha and Krishna. So when Radha and Krishna see each other for the first time, it is like Rangabhumi. It is in a clearing in the forest of Vrindavan. And from one side comes Krishna, and from the other side comes Radhika. And they do not yet meet by touching or speaking, but first meet in their gazes. The opening act of the play, which takes place on this amorous stage, is thus Srimati Radhika's Bangura Bhruvam. This means the bow that is taut. So that the bow is bent to the maximum, really taut and ready to shoot. There's no such dynamic energy trapped in an immobile form that can snap and be released at any moment. Srimati Radhika's eyebrows are Bangura, absolutely ready to shoot. So much energy is trapped in them, and they are very taut and beautiful, like a bow. She's ready to shoot the arrows that are the glances from her eyes. Can you see the poetry in this? Yeah, Radhika's eyebrows are like a bow, and her glances are the arrows who shoot Krishna in the heart. Well, Krishna has no chance. These glances shoot out from there incredibly fast, and she aims these arrows at Krishna. This is the first wave of her attack. She draws the bow, then eyebrows, those eyebrows, then firing her deadly arrows. The very first thing that archers do is to draw the bow and aim at the target, but do not shoot yet. In this way, you bend, or she bends, those bows or eyebrows toward Krishna. And it is this bending of the bows that is very attractive and leads this Mangala Prasanga, the very auspicious meeting of Radha and Krishna. So this is how Radha and Krishna meet. First, Radharani shoots at him her deadly arrows of gaze. She looks at him and he's, whoa. It is irresistible for Krishna to see these movement of her eyebrows. It is really mesmerizing, and when he is captivated, it will give Mangala Prasanga, which means, yes, she wins. Radhika will not meet with Krishna unless he is entranced by her and completely devoted to her. Her Sakis and Manjaris will not enjoy this meeting unless Krishna is in a fully surrendered position. This is Mangala Prasanga. Krishna is blissfully surrendered unto her, and Radhika is already victorious. Then it is Mangala. Radhika is expectant and happy that she will meet with him. So this arching of the eyebrows is an indication that she has the upper hand and the most experienced and best archer. And if he is defeated by this, she will meet with him. Savibramam, Sasambramam. These two terms are used in Sanskrit dramas. They are grammatical terms and are used as stage direction for the actors. They indicate that various love gestures are to be used to engage the audience. Srimati Radhika is very experienced in this. She uses these certain types of attractive gestures. So Srimati Radhika is a great expert in the art of beguiling Krishna by her beautiful, subtle gestures. And at the same time, Degantabana Patanai. Now, Srimati Radhika's attack on Krishna has begun. Drik means eyes, Anta means end. From the farthest corners of her eyes, rain, bana, arrows. Patanai means to rain. She shoots a shower of arrows. They rain down. Thus, Srimati Radhika pours down glances like arrows from the corner of her eyes on Krishna. So first, she has arched her eyebrows in such a way that they are filled with incredible energy. Then she makes these beautiful gestures of her body and showers Krishna with thousands of these beautiful quick sideway glances like arrows that penetrate his heart and completely overwhelm him. At this point, he is already completely exhausted. Radhika is now in the mood of Swadina Bhatrika Naika. Krishna is completely under her control. They have not yet met. They didn't come together. Krishna is just coming, Savi Brahmam Sasam Brahmam also refers to Radhika's eye movements and body gestures. So it can mean that Krishna is bewitching you, but it can also mean that she completely overwhelmed when Krishna is completely bewitched. This then manifests in her body as Savi Brahmam Sasam Brahmam. She is the commander-in-chief of a great army. She is there armed with bows and arrows at Krishna. She's Cupid's commander-in-chief is superior to her opponent in every way. It is like an ongoing story of the god of love fighting his battle with Shiva. And this analogy is continued in this verse. One name of Shiva is Pashupati. And this name, Pashupati, can also refer to Krishna. Pashu means animals, and Pati means Lord. So the cowherd Krishna is the lord of many cows. The old enmity between Shivaji and the worldly god of love, in the course of which Shiva burned him to ashes, is now in a fresh and beautiful way. Anangadev. So now his revenge on Pashupati in the form of Radhika, who shoots a shower of arrows at Pashupati, Krishna, the god of love, has the power to bring others under her control. Similarly, it has this control over Krishna. So now comes a very beautiful, sweet story. Pay attention. One day, Krishna was lying on the branch of a tree. I mean, you don't want to agree that Krishna will, give in so easily. He's God, He's not going to, he got some shots, but now it's now Krishna's turn. One day, Krishna was lying on the branch of a tree with one hand behind his head, chewing betel nuts, and his friends Subal and Sridham were present. Krishna was lying with his back in the branch of a kadamba tree, singing and holding his flute and saying, "Actually, no one can defeat me. I have not only defeated all my cowherd friends, but even my brother Balaram and all the gopis as well. My arms are so strong that no gopi can resist my arms in the slightest. Even if they only see my arms, I do not have to fight with them. I defeat everyone here in Vrindavan. Absolutely everyone, even Balaram, my brother. I can throw him to the ground, no effort at all, no problem." So he was in this boastful and exuberant mood. But one Manjari heard Krishna speaking in this way. She heard this impudent Krishna boldly claiming that he had defeated everyone and that all the gopis in Vraja had been defeated by Krishna. She immediately ran and told Radhika, "Oh, I heard Krishna speak today. Do you know what he said?" She told everything. Lalita and Vishaka were very angry and said to Radhika, "We cannot allow this Krishna to spread our names everywhere and say that we have been defeated by his arms. We have to do something. We should challenge him." Radhika agreed. Yes, we should challenge Krishna. But, Lalita, what should we do? How should we challenge him? Lalita replied, "We should challenge Krishna to a wrestling match." Radhika agreed. "Oh, yes. We should have him to come for a wrestling match." Then Vishaka asked, "Oh, Lalita, who will wrestle with Krishna?" Lalita said, "Don't worry. Just deliver the challenge and I will arrange everything else." If you know, Lalita is arranging many things in these leelas. So in this case, she said, "Don't worry, I will arrange everything." So Radhika sent a message through one of her very young Manjaris. "Oh, please come. A wrestling match is to be held in Radhika's Kunja, there on the banks of the Yamuna. You are invited to see the strength of the cowherd girls of Vraja." Krishna was very happy then. He was already in a fighting mood with his sakas. He tightened his rope. It's very interesting. Whenever Krishna wants to have a wrestling, he tightens his belt. He tightens his rope, put his belt around his waist. Also in the Kaliya Lila, it's described when Krishna wanted to jump into the lake of Kaliya, he fastened his belt, went up to the tree, and then jumped into Yamuna. So he likes to makes his belt. So he also, he tightened his rope, put his belt around his waist, and also tightened it, also put his flute in the belt, and threw himself in the chest. "Come, my friends, let us go and see how these gopis want to wrestle with me. It is not possible. They have no chance." He stood there in the company of all his friends and was so proud. In the meantime, the Sakis and Manjaris, also Radhika, they dressed her like a wrestler. They pulled her dress tight around her waist and pinned it, put up all the folds and pinned her so that she could move and fight. In this way, Radhika was also more than willing to wrestle with Krishna. Lalita ji smiled. You prepared Radhika and held only her veil over her face. Everything about her was ready for the battle, but her veil covered her face. The Manjaris prepared a wrestling arena. They built an extra replica of Kamsa's wrestling arena in Mathura. Krishna came there and saw, oh, a replica of Kamsa's wrestling arena. This is very, very auspicious for me because I have defeated those wrestlers so easily back then. So there will be no problem for me here now. These Manjaris are very foolish. They should have built a different kind of arena. They should have built an arena that is not so auspicious for me. Why didn't they build an arena that is auspicious for Radhika? This is already my place of victory. I have already defeated Radhika just by placing my feet in this arena. Proud as he was, Krishna entered this arena. He stood there on the bank of the Yamuna and waited for Radhika to arrive. But the Manjaris hid Radhika behind a bush that was full of golden, fragrant, and beautiful flowers to hide the fragrance of Radhika. But even behind this highly fragrant bush, Radhika's fragrance began to permeate the area. So Krishna went into this arena and that fragrance reached him. He began to feel a little dizzy and felt some dizziness. He could not understand the fragrance of these flowers. He could not understand why he felt so weak. He didn't want to say anything to his friends because he had already spurred them on with his enthusiasm and encouragement. He has boasted so much. However, Krishna began to become more and more dizzy. When Krishna was already quite dizzy, Lalita led Radhika out from behind the bush and began to walk with Radhika towards him. Another name of Radhika is Anuradha, because wherever Radha goes, Lalita follows. Yeah? She's always there to protect her. Yeah? So Krishna saw Radhika's form, but he could not see her face because it was covered by her veil. He could see that from the very beautiful, that form was very beautiful, and how she was dressed, ready to fight like a wrestler. He began to look around. He could not really understand what he saw and said to Madhumangal, what is this? It's like lightning, but I can't see because it doesn't disappear. It just stays there, you know. It's dazzling light. It never goes away. It's not lightning that comes and goes. Then Madhumangal said, it's just a gopi. What's wrong with you? And he pushed him hard, but he really was quite confused. Krishna was very confused. Madhumangal said, friend, why are you behaving so clumsily? Then he pushed him again. Krishna, it's a small gopi. It's just a gopi. Krishna said, she's not like any gopi. I have never seen her. She's beautiful. She's so beautiful. She's dazzling. Are you sure it's an ordinary cowherd girl? Yes, it's just a cowherd girl. Then Lalita came a little closer and said, you're challenged. Krishna said, oh, she will wrestle with me? Lalita said, yes. But Krishna replied, I shall not fight. I cannot see your face. I will not fight with someone whose face is covered. Lalita quickly lifted the cloth covering Radhika's face, and Radhika looked Krishna only once from the arrow bows of her eyes. Immediately, Krishna fell flat on the ground and landed in the dust. And all the Sakis were highly upset. All the Sakas were highly upset, while Radhika's Sakis all intoned, Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. So Srimati Radhika's victory was immediate, And here too, in this verse, Swamiji's victory, Srimatiji's victory is practically a foregone conclusion. Nirantaram vasikita. She shoots constantly and incessantly these arrows. Patanai. She pours these arrows over Krishna so that Krishna is in the dust, falls hit by the arrows from her eyes. And not only does she do it once, but nirantaram. She attacks Krishna constantly, again and again and again, with a volley of arrows. Vasikita means that she brings Krishna under her control. By raining these arrows of loving glances. The nature of Srimati Radhika is called Swadina Bhartrika. Her own mood dominates her beloved, Krishna. And in this way, she controls Sri Nandanandan Krishna. Pratiti Nandanandane. Pratiti means that she is moving forward. It means that she is moving towards Krishna. She moves either as a friend to meet with Krishna or as an opponent to defeat Krishna. There is another meaning that implies something that is the natural consequence of another action. So if she shoots her arrows at him, the natural consequence is that he is defeated. There is no other result. That means Krishna has no chance to win. And Radha and Krishna meet on this Anangaranga, the stage of Anangadev for Mangala Prasanga. And when Radhika begins to look at Krishna, there is only one result. Krishna will be defeated. We are confident. It is a settled and indisputable fact. That is the reason why Manjaris call it Mangala Prasanga, because she has control over the meeting. So why did Radhika send a sideway glance at this time? She's looking at her Manjaris, her Dasis, and her friends because she wants them all to see her victory over Krishna. They too are all to see him, and they all have come to just witness Radhika's victory over Krishna. The Sakis can only see Radhika's victory over Krishna to a certain extent. As here in the battle arena in the forest, you can see how Swamini defeated Krishna with just a sidelong glance. But Srimati Radhika has defeated Krishna in so many more ways, and these Sakis can no longer see, but the Manjaris, those confidential friends and servants of Radhika, who are with Radhika in all circumstances, can see Radhika's victory expanding even more. So when Radhika and Krishna meet in a kunja in this very intimate way, the Manjaris see many more of Radhika's marvelous victories. They are personally invited by Krishna. This invitation is again just a loving side glance that you can give to her, that she can give to her Manjaris, and then they understand all the instructions for service. She is now in a position to perform this Mangala Prasanga by serving Srimati Radhika. Chanting Radha Kripa Kataksha in an intense prayer for the day, may this day come for me very soon, when one will be the recipient, the receiver of this invitation from Srimati Radhika as her Dasi. I too will be able to witness this wonderful scene of Radhika's victory over Krishna. Now, is that not beautiful? Do you like to see Radhika's victory over Krishna? She defeats Krishna like the god of love, returning to Lord Shiva. Although Shiva had burned him, but now he is victorious over Shivaji by shooting arrows. Swadina Bhartrika is one of Radhika's 8 bhavas. Radhika has 8 transcendental bhavas, and this is one of them, described in the Ujjvala Nilamani. So sometimes it happens in Man, when Radhika is angry and Krishna is so devoted to her that he surrenders himself completely to her. And Radhika's nature is such that she actually wants to give up her Man and meet Krishna, but it is also her very nature that does not allow this. Even Lalita then comes to the point where she says, it's enough, Radhaji. You can meet with him. It's enough. Give it up. Radhaji cannot do this because her nature is such when she's in Swadhina Patrika Bhava that gives so much bliss to Krishna, the supreme controller. She takes him completely captive, controls him. So Radhika has a mood with him which she is able to control Krishna completely. It is completely controlled by her. This is Prema Ranga. So we pray, we meditate. Please close your eyes. In the immensely auspicious spectacle performed with passionate, love-filled playfulness, Prem Vilas, like a wrestling match of love, her eyebrows curved like bows suddenly unleash the arrows of her sidelong glances, piercing Nandanandana with amorous enchantment and bringing him into reverential devotion. In this way, he comes eternally under her perfect control. O Srimati Radhika, when will you bestow your merciful sidelong glances on me? Shall we continue? Next verse. So please chant. Tadit Suvarna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Mukha Prabhapasasta Koti Sara Bindu Mandale It Suvarna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Mukha Prabhapasasta Koti Sara Bindu Mandale Vichitra Chitra Sanchara Chakura Savaruchan Kada Harisha Sihamandita Katakshada Vichitra Chitra Sanchara Chakura Savaruchan Kada Harisha Sihamandita Katakshada. O goddess, whose form is as splendid as champak flowers, gold and lightning. O goddess, whose face eclipses millions of autumn moons. O goddess, whose eyes are wonderful, restless, lung chakora birds, when will you cast your merciful sidelong glance upon me? You, whose golden form shines and radiates like lightning and a golden champak flower together, whose luminous face extinguishes the glow of millions of full autumn moons, whose eyes, restless as the cheeks of a chakora bird, take on the most varied and wonderful expressions. When will you make me the recipient of your kripa kataksha, your sidelong glance of grace? The sparkling bright glow of your body is as intensely luminous as lightning, but as warm as gold and as soft as champak flowers. The radiant splendor of your face surpasses even the radiance of millions of autumnal full moons, and your eyes, restless as chakora birds, show amazing new and wonderful expressions at every moment. O Srimati Radhika, when will you give me your merciful sidelong glance? Tadit Suvarna Champaka. This verse describes the Pradipta Gaura Vigrahe, the Srimati Radhika's radiance. First word mentioned here is Tadit, which means lightning or lightning strike. A flash of lightning is so dazzlingly bright that it lights up the whole sky. Even if you can't see the flash itself, it is extremely bright, and the effect of this flash is everywhere. In an instant, the whole sky and the land are illuminated. In a sense, Srimati Radhika, for her charisma as well, It is intensified beauty, very expansive, and affects everything around her as she moves. Its brilliance is like that. It cannot be contained by anything. Even Srimati Radhika cannot do it alone. When she goes out at night to meet Krishna, the luster of her body becomes like an enemy because it radiates everywhere. She wants to go in a dark night to meet Krishna. Nobody should know, but the luster of her body is dazzling. It becomes like an enemy to her. Even when she wraps her darkest clothes around her, this radiance radiates from her lightning, like a lightning. It cannot be dimmed. It is like her eagerness to meet Krishna. Her radiance moves in front of her. It flows out of her body naturally, like her desire to meet Krishna. And it cannot be held back. So in a way, Radhika's radiance is as powerful and its influence is as tremendous as lightning strike. But, or rather, its brilliance has all the good qualities and none of the harsh glowing properties of lightning. It is balanced by the comparison with the weighty yet gentle, lush, cool nature of pure gold, which is much gentler and softer. But gold also has some qualities that are not like those of Srimati Radhika. Gold is metal, is not soft. That is not soft to the touch. But champak is a beautiful golden yellow flower, which is also very fragrant, very soft and very graceful. These three things then together and in combination describe the padipta, the light of Radhika's body. So what were the three things? The lightning, the color, and the softness. Yeah? So we say Radhika's body is like molten gold. The color of her body is like molten gold. But gold is metal, it's cold. You know? Radha's coldness is cooling. It's not making cold like a stone heart. Yeah, she's cooling. She cools down the fire of lust in the heart of a surrendered soul. A champak is beautiful golden flower and is also very fragrant. No? Dipta means light and pra means it is very bright, very radiant. This radiance is a combination of the glow of lightning, gold, and the softness of champak. This describes her Gaura Vigraha, the golden shining complexion of her body. So whoever desires Manjari Baba sings about Radhika's wonderful radiance and thus also implies the desire for seva. When Radhika sets out to meet Krishna, she carries with her this beautiful effulgence that follows and surrounds. It is so extraordinarily beautiful, but it becomes her enemy at night when it is completely dark. She will be easily seen when she endeavors to meet Krishna. Therefore, on nights when it is especially dark, Radhika looks at her manjaris. She looks outside and sees how dark it is. And then out of the corner of her eyes, she looks at Rupa or Rati, and they will understand, oh, Radhika is afraid of this dark night. Not because she's afraid of to move in the dark, but because she's afraid that she will be in the dark because of her bright, radiant body could be discovered. So they quickly get a tightly woven, heavy, dark cloth and give it to Radhika. They tie this dark robe around her, put it over her head, cover all her limbs, and try to conceal her radiance. This is how Radhika sneaks out in the night to meet Krishna. Because she's radiant, they have to cover her completely. Her beautiful glow, which always worries her, then it threatens to reveal her during the nightly strolls through the woods, means seva to the manjaris. Yeah, the problem becomes the seva. No? They like to do seva. No? This is the main reason why the manjaris value this radiance so much. In Sri Krishna Bhavanamrita, it is described how Radhika and Krishna entered the forest of Vrindavan and how their charisma has a great impact on this forest of Vrindavan. Krishna enters the forest from one side and Radhika from the other side. It is said that all the colors in the forest are asleep before they enter the forest, because there is no reason for these colors to manifest when Radha and Krishna are not there. So the forest sleeps and all the colors sleep. Everything fades in separation from the divine couple. Then Krishna begins to enter the forest from his side, surrounded by his beautiful effulgence, which is bluish like the color of a rain cloud. So from Krishna's side, the forest begins to absorb Krishna's radiance and becomes bluish. The shadows and trees begin to reflect Krishna's bluish sapphire-like radiance. Radhika comes in another side, and since her radiance is so golden, everything begins to glow in a golden hue. The trees and all the flowers begin to radiate their golden color. The deer, the many flowers, simply everything takes on a golden hue. So what happens when golden hue and blue meet? It becomes green. So they are entering the forest from the two sides. Yeah? You can imagine the scene in the night. The forest is sleeping, everything is dark, no color. Then Krishna comes with his bluish sapphire color, and Radhika comes with her golden color. So from one side, the forest becomes bluish, and on the other side becomes golden. And Radha and Krishna move towards each other. As they move, their bodies move too, shine, and the influence of their charisma continue to color the forest. Then they meet, and everything begins to glow in green. Trees and plants, everything becomes so wonderfully green. So this green color is the color of Milan, meeting, coming together. Whenever the Manjaris see this green color, they remember it, the Milan of Yugal Kishore. Even when they are in separation. This is an Udipan, even in this word. Udipan means that which reminds us from to Radha and Krishna. When you see something which has something to do with Krishna, you see a tulsi plant somewhere, you remember, oh, this is a devotee of Krishna. So tulasi can become an Udipan for your seva, to remember Krishna. You see a peacock feather somewhere on the land of Vrindavan. When you walk and you do go Vrindavan parikram, you see some peacock feathers on the floor. What do we think as a devotee? Oh, Krishna has peacock feathers in his crown. We will hear later about Krishna's peacock feathers. This is a very beautiful story. You will never forget. So, when Radhika is wallowing in feelings of separation and the forest of Vrindavan show this green color, it can bring some comfort to her heart because she can remember how she met with Krishna and how her two emanations merged together to create this beautiful original color of the forest of Vrindavan. The sole purpose of this color is to be conducive to the meeting of Radha and Krishna. This is what the color green means. Mukha prabha prasasta koti sara dendu mandale. This specifically describes the radiance of her face. Mukha means face. Prabha means shine. So it refers to the shine of her face. Parasta means to give up or to defeat. Koti sara dendu mandale. Koti means 10 million. Sharat means autumn. And endu means month. Thus, the beauty of her, splendor of Srimati Radhika's face, eclipses or mocks the splendor of 10 million autumn moons. It explicitly refers to Sharadendu Mandale, the auras of the autumn moons. These 10 million autumn moons are an indication of Sri Krishna's Sharadiya Rasa, his autumnal Rasa Lila. we hear about Rasa Lila. There are different Rasa Lilas in different parts of Vrindavan. So this autumn Rasa Lila is the most famous. This is the one which we hear in Krishna book from Srila Prabhupada or in Srimad Bhagavatam. This autumn, in the autumn, because autumn is it's a very nice. In Germany, autumn means it's becoming cold and rain comes like that. But in Vrindavan in India, autumn is the month when the heat of the summer is finished, the weather becomes nice. There has been rains and everything, but now it becomes nice weather. Yeah, therefore Kartik is very nice, and also autumn is a month where the agricultural products are coming. Yeah, you can have you can have a lot of reap. You can reap whatever you have sown. So autumn is very, very nice. And the autumn moons are very cooling because it's still very warm and the cooling moon. So this is how Sharadiya Rasa is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna called so many gopis with his flute. Tens of millions of gopis came there, all beautiful, just like the moon, each of them like a beautiful moon. But Srimati Radhika's beautiful radiance, glorious face easily eclipsed all those tens of millions of gopis who came there to dance with Krishna. She had become the exuberant, the joy of all these gopis is simply the most beautiful, the most radiant. Koti Shara Dendu. Koti means 10 millions again. Also has a hidden meaning for the Manjaris. For the Manjaris, it is an allusion to Chandravali. Chandra means moon. And Avali means a whole group or collection. So Srimati Radhika also conquers Chandravali, whose beauty is like a whole group of moons. Her rival, Chandravali, is very beautiful and is very dear to Krishna also. But the Radharani's Dasi, they don't want to do anything with her. They want to see Radharani is the victorious. Her face is thus described here as something weightier than the moon. So when Chandravali comes with her group of gopis, the Manjaris, they want to see how Radhika is winning. There is a story about Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, who is Rati Manjari, one of the most confident servants of Radharani. Raghunath Das Goswami, throughout his life, he was actually born as a kind of prince, as a very rich landowner family. When he joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became very austere. He stopped eating and he was practicing great austerity. And this was very pleasing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He stayed for 18 years in Jagannath Puri together while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in this world. And after the passing away of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and after the passing away of Swarup Damodar Goswami, he became very even more austere. He stopped completely eating solid food, only drinking. So in that state, he went to Vrindavan. He came to Radhakund and he stayed there. So there was a person who was coming every day and giving him a cup of buttermilk to drink. That was his food. He was chanting all day long or paying obeisances to Vaishnavas. But he was only drinking 1 cup of buttermilk. So in Radhakund, there was only small cups. So this devotee, he thought, because he said, I only want to have 1 cup, no more. Just 1 cup of buttermilk. That's all I drink. So this devotee thought, maybe I can bring him bigger cup. He wants 1 cup, okay, 1 cup, but bigger. So he went to another village and he got a bigger cup and brought it to Raghunath Das Goswami. Gave it to him. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he looked and he said, whoa, bigger cup. Very nice. Where did you get this one? Well, this is from Chandravali's village. Oh, from Chandravali's village. Huh? He threw it away and said, a servant of Radharani doesn't want anything from Chandravali's village. Just to make the point. Yeah, just to make the point that the servant of Radharani is completely wants to see Radharani always wins. So here it says, Koti Saradendu, that Radharani, she defeats millions of, 10 millions of moons, and when Chandravali means the moon and her other moons, her expansions, her friends, when they come, still Radharani should win. The moon is also so cool and very romantic. Radhika's face has these characteristics of the moon, very cool, and to see it, Krishna played his flute to call the gopis to Rasa Leela. He actually played the flute to call Radharani. He was also inspired to do so because he saw the beautiful autumn moon rising in the sky. When Krishna saw the moon and the beautiful night and remembered the gopis, he got the desire to be with them. He played his flute and called them all. So this moon was Krishna's inspiration. He inspired some romantic thoughts in Krishna's heart, and he then called the gopis. Radhika's face also has the quality of arousing this mood in Krishna. Now the description of the face of Srimati Radhika becomes more and more specific. This verse began with the description of her splendor, of her body, and then came to her beautiful face, which resembles the moon. In this beautiful face of Radhika are her beautiful eyes. Her eyes are therefore called Vichitra Chitra. Vichitra means truly amazing and extraordinary, full of variety. So Radhika's eyes are Vichitra. They always have so many different moods and also different colors. Radhika's eyes are blue, but this blue is not a constant blue. It's iridescent, with so many other shades of blue in it, like the feather of a kingfisher. It's a truly extraordinary blue bird. If you ever see a kingfisher's feather, if you hold it up to the light, sometimes it's so dark and sometimes it glows in the light. It has all the colors in it. So here, Vichitra Chitra, with a double emphasis. Vichitra means very charismatic or amazing, and Chitra means emphasizing how beautiful the combination of all these different colors is. Not just the color and moods of her eyes, but also the way her eyes move. Sancharaj means that they move here and there, like the waves of the sea that go up and down, always on the move. The sea is always moving. It's never still. Radhika's eyes are also never still. They are just like a chakora, a mystic bird. A special feather of the chakoras is that they only drink nectar of the moon. So Srimati Radhika is described here, how she defeat all the millions of autumn moons, that is all the other gopis. And specifically, her eyes are looking for only one particular moon. She has conquered all the female moons, and just as the chakora bird waits for the moon so that it can drink, so Radhika's eyes are always in the search of her Shama Chandra, the moon of Sham. Their eyes are Sancharaj. They search everywhere, going here and there, looking for a particular moon. They search for the beautiful moon's glow. And all this variety, all the colors and beauty in her eyes, and all the movements are only to attract Sri Krishna. All these movements are only so that she can see him, and once this, her eyes can remain inextricably attached to him. So their eyes are like chakora birds, and here it is called chakora shavalochana. Shava means like a baby bird. When an animal has a baby, the baby is really lovely, sweet, soft, and charming, just very attractive. So her youth is being recognized here, interpreted. Nava Yovana, Nava, new, Yovana, youthfulness. Because Srimati Radhika's eyes are constantly moving. This means for a sadhaka who sings this verse, O Radhika, your eyes are constantly moving, moving from one place to another place, never standing still. For this reason, there is no possibility that at the same point, while you are moving your eyes, your gaze will also fall on me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eyes were also moving all the time, never still. So the sadhaka is chanting, oh, your eyes is always moving, never falls on me. The possibility exists. It is not that the case that your eyes are always closed or always fixed. No, you don't always look in one direction. No, they move everywhere. And I'm there somewhere too. Here I am. Yeah. So there is a chance for everyone. So there is hopeful mood that in the movement of her eyes, her gaze can also touch me. And which gaze is that? Her kripa kataksha, her look of mercy towards her own dasis. She will see us as one of her own and accept us as dasi with her loving grace. So when Radhika is either on the way to meet with Krishna, Abhisar, and her beautiful complexion has to be hidden, or when Radhika meets with Krishna, when he is in the company of so many other gopis, Koti Shara Dendu, so many millions of gopis who are like autumn moons, then they go to Krishna. Radhika always is in the company of her dasis. When Radhika is on Abhisar, she is so restless that her eyes look everywhere. When will that moment come when our eyes can fix on Krishna and end with her restlessness? When will she catch a glimpse of me at such a time? While I accompany you as your Manjari Dasi. Kada karishyasi hamam kripa kataksha bhajanam. O Swamini, please look graciously upon me. And so we pray. Please close your eyes and try to imagine this scenery. The sparkling, bright glow of her body is as intensely luminous as lightning, but as warm as gold and as soft as champak flowers. The radiant splendor of her face surpasses even the radiance of millions of autumnal full moons, and her eyes, restless as chakora birds, show amazing new and wonderful expressions at every moment. O Srimati Radhika, when, oh when, will you give me your merciful side glance? So since we have still 15 minutes to go, I thought we could also sing the next verse. Maitili, can you show us the next verse? This is the verse 5. Madon madati ovane pramodamana mandite priyanuragaranjite kalavilasa pandite. Madon madati ovane pramodamana mandite priyanuragaranjite kalavilasa pandite. Ananyadanya kunjaraksha kama keli kovide kada karishyasi hamam ipapataksha bhajan. Ananyadanya kunjaraksha kama keli kovide kada karishyasi hamam ipapataksha bhajan. Oh, young girl, intoxicated with passion, O goddess decorated with cheerful, jealous anger, O goddess who passionately love your beloved Krishna, O goddess learned in playful arts, learned in playful arts, O goddess expert at enjoying amorous pastimes in the kingdom of the peerlessly opulent forest groves of Vrindavan, when will you cast your merciful sidelong glance on me? Yeah. So now this is a meditative translation. Your blossoming youth is so intoxicating that it drives you and him crazy. And even your anger, your defiance and resentment, your rebelliousness make her seem delightful. Your affection for your beloved Krishna is characterized by your skillful abilities in the many arts of lovemaking. You are the expert for highest poetry, full of loving exchange in your incomparable, holy, auspicious realm of Kunjas. Madon Madatiyo Vane. Srimati Radhika is on her way to meet Krishna. Her eyes are restless to catch sight of him. Her bodily effulgence is rushing ahead of her to quickly touch the effulgence of Krishna, who in turn is rushing ahead of him. Radhika is confused and intoxicated by her impending encounter with Krishna. Mada means intoxicated, and Unmada means that this intoxication comes to a point of madness. This is transcendental or spiritual madness. That is the intensity of the desire to please Krishna and satisfy his innermost desires. Radhika's eagerness to these desires becomes so great that she becomes completely intoxicated, and this intoxication to please Krishna, the form of holy pride. This is another meaning of madana. So her eagerness to fulfill Krishna's deepest desires takes the form of a very intense pride, and this is called vamya bhava, a left mood. That is a mood that is contrary, not submissive at all, but difficult to access, fickle and challenging to Krishna. The fuel for this mood is that Vamya Bhava, they have this lefty, and then there is the group of Chandravali who are very submissive to Krishna. This combination of Radhika's youth, her pride and eagerness to him, and the madness of her intoxication creates all causes of greatest excitement in Krishna's mind. He himself becomes completely intoxicated. So here, Madan Unmadati, the extreme intoxication of Srimati Radhika, which is caused by her desire to please Krishna and is due to her youthful, fresh, and difficult nature for him. As a result, Krishna, Madan, also Unmadati, he also becomes entranced and quite mad. He becomes intoxicated by her intoxication, which springs from the ocean of her youth. The form she assumes to fully please Krishna is pramodamana mandite. She delights him more than anything else. Radhika knows this and too, and that is why she does it. Her madness comes from the desire to please Krishna the most. To please him, to give him real pramoda, to please him, she gets into a mood of mana, charming, unruliness. Krishna enjoys Radhika's mana because it has the power to control him completely. In the material world, everyone tries to keep control, but in the spiritual world, Shivraj, being controlled by love is the highest bliss. Man is very high stage of Radhika's love within Madhurya Bhav. After a stage of Mahabhav is reached, it goes on to Sneha, Mana, Pranaya, Raga, Anuraga, eternally deeper. So these are the different stages of prema. Once a devotee is so advanced to have bhava and Krishna prema, then it doesn't stop there. It's not that once you have love of Krishna, oh, now you're okay, you're sitting on a throne. No. Love always increases and has different stages, like we are hearing, Sneha, Mana, Pranaya, Raga, Anuraga, and so on. So when Krishna sees Srimati Radharani and pacifies her man through so many amazing ways, her man enters the stage of pranaya. Pranaya means that Radhika's shyness and self-consciousness have disappeared. Then she no longer thinks that even her body is separate from Krishna. In pranaya, Radha and Krishna consider themselves as one body, as one unit. Man is thus essential stage of Radhika's meeting with Krishna. She does not meet Krishna just like that, but only after she has shown some charming rebelliousness and after Krishna has appeased her anger by submitting himself to her. A mood of pranaya can arise. The shyness is gone and you can roam around together, tasting all kinds of her prema lilas, and Krishna is also controlled by it. This is a verse in the Lalita Ashtaka in which Lalita Devi instructs Srimati Radhika. Ma dakshina bhava. Don't be so impressionable, gentle and soft. This is Dakshina Bhava of the Chandrabali group. Vamya Bhav, Radharani group, Dakshina Bhav, Chandrabali. So Lalita is telling Radharani, don't be submissive to Krishna. Your reputation as an unchaste girl, Kalakini, has spread in the three words because you tend to be Dakshin, to conform to him. You should give him up. You should now be Vamya Bhavika, contrary mood. Why does she say such things to Srimati Radhika? Because she knows that it gives Krishna the greatest and highest joy. Pramodamana. It asks, the reason why man is pramod and brings joy to Krishna is because man brings about the most intense encounter thereafter. It increases the intensity, power, beauty, and love between Radha and Krishna. Krishna's love grows through Radhika's man. Even if it looks like she is making him cry and he begs, puts everything, flute, crown, tears at her feet, it gives him the highest joy. Because when finally this man is gone and pranaya can arise in Radhika's heart, then Krishna can experience the greatest happiness in meeting Radhika. Radhika will always be anxious for Krishna's happiness because of her nature, here called Priyanuranga Ranjite. One of the meanings of Ranjite is to be painted or colored. So what is Radhika colored by? By the anuraga of her Priya, Krishna. He is her great lover, and this love and affection for her color her completely. She is colored by them, inside and out. Anuraga is described as reddish color. If you have a piece of cloth that is pure and white, and you dip it in a deep red dye, then you take it out. That deep red has penetrated to the innermost fibers of the cloth. 1 second. I have a nice, where are we here? At page 7. So since the time is running out, I'd like to just check one more thing. We will read the rest of this commentary because within it is the most beautiful story of my whole presentation. And that would be tonight. Okay? But now I will read to you another few minutes of the importance of Anuraga. Srila Jiva Goswami writes in his Priti Sandarbha that along with the desire to please the deity, there is also a natural desire to have an intimate relationship with him and to attain him. When you're serving deity, you have to have a natural desire to be friendly and be friends with Krishna. The devotee who is fixed in smarana attains direct association with his chosen deity within his mind, just as the devotees have discussions with each other in this world. So the girlfriends and maidservant of Sri Radha have them in the spiritual world. Upa means close by, and upasana means sitting close by. The practicing devotee can stay close by them, the Sakis and Manjaris, in his spiritual body, Siddhadeta, by constantly practicing smaran. This is the beautiful sasanga bhajan, devotion with spiritual attachment, which means while you're chanting, you can also practice remembering Krishna's leelas, practice remembering Srimati Radharani's mercy. Not only just chanting, but also practicing smaran. Parallel, not just this or just that, both. Now that Sripad has returned, Sripad Jiva Goswami has returned to his sadhaka consciousness, he feels great separation from Swamini and prays that she will be revealed within his heart once again. It is as if Radhika plays hide and seek with her maidservants. Sometimes she shows the sweetness of her form, attributes, and pastimes, and sometimes she withdraws this vision. The whole story of Vilapa Kusumanjali described by Raghunath Das Goswami is this hide and seek play of Radharani with Rati Manjari. When the devotees are separated from her, they also see her extraordinary sweet qualities. Shri Radha is as beautiful as Sapta Sindhuvati Dairati, the planet Earth with her 7 oceans. There are 7 oceans in the material world, one of salt, one of sugarcane juice, one of wine, one of clarified butter, one of yogurt, one of milk, and one of sweet water. Shri Radha's cleverness, anuraga, affection, compassion, elegance, form, and pastimes are compared with these 7 oceans in opposite order. Srimati Radharani is Vaidakya Sindhu, an ocean of cleverness. This means Rasa Panditya. She is learned in the science of taste. She even teaches Rasika Shekhar, the king of relishers, Krishna, expertise in the amorous mellows. Shri Krishna himself admits in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Radhika Prema Guru Ami Shishya Nata Sada Ama Nana Nitye Nachaye Udbhata. Radhika's love is the teacher and I am the dancing pupil. She always causes me to dance different wonderful dances. She is the teacher of arts. Srila Rupa Goswami writes in Ujjvala Nilamani, Radha Pranakara 21, Kundalata told Gargi, O Devi, what more can I say about the artful expertise of Shri Radhika? She is the teacher by example of making pictures of mineral pigments. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad writes in his Ananda Chandrika commentary on this verse, the word acharya means that she did not learn this science from anyone. It was spontaneously manifest to her. She is expert in cooking. She can stifle even Sri Krishna in a verbal battle. She is very learned in stringing flower garlands. She is expert in teaching the Shari and Shuka parrots how to recite beautiful verses. She can defeat even the unconquerable Ajita. Ajita is the name of Krishna, which means unconquerable, in the dice game. And she has a keen intelligence. I don't know who remembers, a few years ago we had Janmashtami festival, and one part of the festival was dice game. And we had another board game, Mensch ärgere dich nicht. Radha and Krishna were playing. And of course, you know who will win. Don't need to say it. Because of her cleverness, Srimati is compared here with the ocean of sweet water, the 7th cosmic ocean. And she is the ocean of Anuraga, which means Mahabhava. Anuraga is ever fresh and ever astonishing. Srimati thinks Krishna's sweetness is ever fresh and she always has more taste for his sweetness, so she always relishes it. Srila Rupa Goswami writes in his Ujjvala Nilamani, Sthai Bhava 104. It will end now. One day, Srimati Radhika and her friends, I think I will read this later, because now time is up and it's going to be a little longer than I thought. So thank you very much for your attention. We will continue, I guess, at 3 o'clock or something. Yes, at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. in 2 hours. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimati Radharani ki jai.